What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here. It's the Thursday afternoon Matt Riddle broadcast, co-hosted by Matt Riddle and his loud fucking table. What's up, Matt?
What up, bro? How you doing?
Oh, you know, sick from San Antonio.
That'll happen. You know, those long weekends on the road, you meet a lot of people, slap a lot of hands.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the strongest of immune systems, it'll get you.
They must be really dirty people because I have a pretty strong immune system. I never get sick.
I think it's just different. You know, it was a different climate, and it's definitely not San Antonio per se. You got to remember, it's the flights. When you travel on a plane, you're on that. It's you know, that's just, you're asking for it.
That's what the old boss man was saying. He said that there's no place for that air to go when you're on a plane, and if one person's sick, then a lot of people get sick. So that's a bummer, but hey, I'll be over it in a few days. This is my last podcast of the week that I have to do, so if I survive this, then I'm okay.
You're a stallion. Look at you.
Yeah. Speaking of, I met you this week, and the first thing you said to me was, "You look different in person." What the fuck did that mean?
I thought you'd be different.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. What did I tell you then? Because you probably said the same thing, didn't you?
I don't think that I screamed, "What the fuck does that mean, Matt?" I
was like, bro. You know, I don't know. You look a little more lively in the podcast. You look smaller in person.
Smaller in person?
But I guess people might say that about me. But you know what?
That's true.
But I'll also say this. Your podcast position, you're very close to the camera. Well, I feel like me, you get the whole like body spread. So it's more like you get the whole picture with me while you're just getting the headshot.
That's true. That's true. I'm a very thin man. I'm frail.
You did say you ran. I should have known.
Yeah.
But it was tight. It was tight. So it was good.
That was a hell of a show, man.
Yeah, you know, the Evolve shows, we always have a good time. We got good fans, you know, they're smart, you know, and they like to have fun.
So we got plenty to talk about, like plenty to talk about. First off, Triple H holds a press conference to promote NXT last week, and one of the things he says is, "We like to be sure that our guys are working in safe rings, Matt." And what happens on Friday night at Evolve?
Yeah, you know, rings are a big issue, you know, and I feel like the WWE's got that on lockdown. You know, I feel like their rings are very safe, you know. The indies, you know, it's I don't know. You ask somebody if a ring's safe. You know, if they say yes, you know, we got a good ring for you. We'll charge you this much. You know, you should be able to take somebody's word for it. And when the ring breaks multiple times, what can you do? You know, it's already booked.
It's just weird. That's the company that WWE may be closest to is Evolve, and that's unfortunate that happened. To their credit, Evolve had a new ring brought in Saturday. There were no troubles.
Yeah, you know, that's what you do. You have a problem, you fix it. You know, the second that show was over Friday night, they took down that ring, and we're already getting the new ring put in there. So, you know, it was good. Saturday was good. Friday was good. It was a good weekend, regardless of rings breaking. And then Beyond was good on Sunday. It was good. Good weekend.
One thing I noticed about you, Matt, if you aren't in the back preparing for your match, you're out front watching the matches.
I do. You know, I really enjoy watching the matches in the crowd. If not in the crowd, like by my merch table, wherever, you know. I like to be watching the matches firsthand. A lot of guys watch the curtains, and I do that, but the spots are very limited, and I don't know. I'd rather, like, I feel like in like the UFC and even at PWG, you can't go out in the crowd, but there's like a TV monitor in the back, you know. So if there was a TV monitor, I'd probably just stay in the back for the most part. But I really want to see the action, and you know, because I enjoy it, you know.
It's kind of cool to see because we always hear about your improvement. We see your improvement. So, I mean, you're out there on the ground level just watching it. Not only that, you're leading chants. You're out there having fun. That's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I'm there to have a good time. I think that's the biggest thing. I think like most of the fans are there to have a good time. Most people don't go out to an event, especially an indie show, to sit on their hands.
I hope not. I hope not.
They shouldn't. But if they are, you got to give them something to go crazy about.
Now, speaking of giving them something to go crazy about, that match with Dustin, holy shit, balls in space.
That was a fun one. I watched it back, I think yesterday or the day before. Pretty fun
Jesus.
stuff.
Those chairs, the use of chairs in that match.
The chairs are nothing.
How much of that do you know going into the match? Every single spot you're going to do? Or when he's like, hey, I'm going to toss you into 3 rows of chairs, is it kind of just like, well, I'm doing this?
You have an idea of it's going to happen, I think we talked about tossing me into chairs. We didn't say how I was going to get tossed in or how he was going to get tossed in, but we had an angle where we were going to toss each other into chairs, and then I was going to kick a chair into his face, We talked about a couple things.
There was a very there were several really good spots. There was the move on the merch tables, which are not designed to take moves nor to break.
No, that was a real table. That was a real merch table, just hit me with a vertical suplex on there, The leg just snapped off. But yeah. That happens,
And merch was still sold on that table.
Oh yeah. I think what did they do? They propped it up with another chair. They propped it up with the chair. Yeah.
Then later on, there was a cool spot where you were on a table and Dustin does a flip or he does something over the top rope.
Does like a swanton bomb over the top rope too, man. It was pretty sick. There you
go. Then probably my favorite moment of the show. Now I'd be saying this if you worked with us or not. You hit a fisherman's buster, superplex, through a bunch of like erector set stacked chairs. That was badass.
It was a good time. It was a good time. Just catapulted Dustin into those chairs and then stomped his head and pinned him for the 3.
I noticed that your head caught one of the chairs. Did you feel that, or was the adrenaline too much?
I definitely didn't feel that at all. It was, and the thing is, with the Fisherman Buster, I kind of like threw him over into the chair pot. I kind of landed to the left. So I felt like I protected myself a lot better than it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been. Earlier in the night, we saw somebody climb up a pole about 15 feet and just launch themselves off. That was pretty awesome.
That's Darby. That's Darby Allin for you.
Yeah. He looks like a miniature demon.
He's a miniature demon.
He is a miniature demon. Later on, there's a few cool spots in Chris Hero's match, which actually I came over and watched with you. One of which, a chair just got absolutely fucked, as almost a fan did too.
Yeah, Chris Hero, I think last match on the Indies, so he had to he put Zack Sabre through a fan through a chair.
One of the coolest spots was Chris Hero doing a pedigree onto Zack Sabre, little WWE nod there, and Zack Sabre kicks out at 1.
Yeah, that made me happy. The 1 kick. I love me a good old 1 kick.
You kicked out at 1 during your match too, and it got a giant reaction.
You gotta pick the right moments to do it. You gotta tell that story. Of course, and I hate when, and I'm not gonna name names, but I hate when you're in a wrestling match and it's a hardcore match and the referee moves stuff around and interferes in a no DQ match, like almost trying to stop you from doing things.
Yeah.
And it's a no DQ. DQ match.
Definitely.
Stop moving the items. They're there for a reason. You're killing the rhythm of the match, you son of a bitch. Not mentioning names, but just remember, refs, if you're in a hardcore match, unless somebody tells you to move something, don't move anything. They're probably leaving the chair in the ring or the table here or whatever.
For a
Just
reason.
saying. For a reason. No DQ. No DQ. No DQ. You can't disqualify me. Remember this, refs. Just FYI, don't touch the weapons unless you're told to touch the weapons by the wrestlers.
I'll say this. I'm not much of a traveler. I like doing my job at home, but anytime I am in a town where Evolve is, I'm going to the show now. That was an experience.
Evolve's a good time, and we usually, like WrestleMania weekend. I don't know if you're going to be down there for that. You should be. That's in Orlando.
Maybe.
Evolve's going to be there. Beyond's going to be there. Progress is going to be there. It's WWE's going to be there.
How are you going to handle your bookings that weekend if there are like 74 shows?
Oh, they all work hand in hand, like ding, ding, ding,
Okay.
ding, 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 over like the course of like 3-4 days.
So you may be wrestling like 8 matches that weekend.
Oh, I'm wrestling at least I'm wrestling like probably like 10 matches that week.
That's awesome. That is incredible.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's going to be a good weekend.
So you were the belle of the ball this weekend, the talk of a lot of people this weekend, whether you knew it or not.
I didn't. The belle of the ball.
The belle of the ball because you're fucking everywhere somehow. I don't know how, but you're everywhere.
Hey, dude, I was at NXT TakeOver, bro.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it with that shit-eating grin on your face.
It's hilarious.
For the conference call ahead of NXT TakeOver, the same one I talked about earlier, people asked about you. And Triple H said that they had you work out and said that said that Triple H is all about second chances, but a guy has to prove himself. Triple H felt that Matt Riddle has promise and helped him get taken care of in the scene and cultivated. Said that you have done very well with that, and what the future holds, he doesn't know, but that you are a very talented kid with a bright future. We will see where it goes. Your thoughts?
I don't know. I guess we'll see where it goes.
You're going to be pedigreeing anybody for 1 counts anytime soon?
I will never fucking do a pedigree. That's just like why? Because it's not my move. It's not my steez.
The tombstone is though. Come on, you do a hell of a tombstone.
That's my tombstone. It's a bro stone. Okay.
Hey, you jump in the air when you do it.
I jump in the air and I lean forward, so it's actually WWE safe.
It's a slam.
Yeah, it's a pancake, but it's a tombstone variation. Yeah. And sometimes depending on the effect I'm trying to get, I might drop you on your head, but like I'll warn my opponent depending. But most guys, like older guys, the vets, they prefer a pancake. Same thing with the Fisherman Buster. They prefer a Fisherman suplex over the Buster. So I got to kind of like do like a jumping Fisherman suplex. So, I change things up for everybody.
So how much have you spoken to Triple H, or have you?
Just very few words. Very few words. Like, he came up to me. I talked to him it was probably like a year ago. It was last year's Rumble, not this year's. Last year's Rumble. So it's been exactly 1 year. And he came up to me at an Evolve event, and he goes, "Hey, I appreciate what you're doing here." And I go, "I appreciate what you're doing here."
Nice.
And then he looked at me kind of weird, and then he goes, "All right." He's like, "I just want to thank you for everything you've done." He's like, and I go,
and did you look at him and say, "I want to thank you for everything you've done"?
That's exactly what I said. And then he looked at me weird. He shook my hand and he walked away. And that's the last I've talked to Triple H, either in person. I've only talked to him in person. I've never talked to him on the phone or anything. It was just those few words back and forth. And he was super tan, and I didn't know why. And then he won the Rumble the next day, and I was like, now I know why.
Yeah. Yeah, got to keep that tan when you're winning the Rumble. So Randy Orton had that Rumble winning tan this weekend.
Yeah, you can tell when somebody's going to win the Rumble. If they're orange. If somebody's orange Rumble season, they're fucking winning.
They got to ban that shit. That orange tan.
Dude.
Looks terrible.
Dude, I think I'll tell you this. I think you should have to really tan. Like, you need a natural tan or you can't be tan. Like, no more of this, like, smear on tan. Because some of these guys are just smearing on tan, or I'm not going to mention names because I'm not that kind of guy. But it's just, and I'm not saying you have to go crazy hard. You don't have to be, like, brown, just,
I mean,
get some shade. Get some shade,
Like I bought my wife a tanning bed for $450. If people are home one day a week, they can spend
how good
15
is
minutes
a
in the
tanning bed? $450. Like what's
It's okay. Does the job.
Like, what do you mean does the job? Like, do you have to like do parts of your body at a time, or can
Nope.
you just like lay in the whole thing?
Just laying the whole thing. Yeah.
Email me the link for this tanning bed because
it's probably from the 90s. It's an old bed. It's just well taken care of. It has new bulbs and everything like that.
Okay, well, if these tanning beds are going for $450 or $500 on the internet,
you can absolutely find one online for that much. I'll see what I can do. Hey, people in the Pennsylvania area, you selling a tanning bed?
Yeah,
contact our boy.
Yeah, because I not that I spend a fortune, but I spend $45 on 10 sessions. So, but it's a premium bed.
Yeah,
premium bed.
Well, let me tell you, you ain't getting a premium bed for $450.
All right,
it'll be an okay bed.
I could go in at any time, but then my power bill is gonna be more. You know what? I'll stick to what I'm doing. I'm not tanning that much. I travel a lot.
Our house is really old.
Summer's coming. Let's move on.
We had to have an outlet installed that it fits. So hey,
I believe it. You probably need like a ballast and some other things to really get to get it going.
So you showed up at NXT Takeover. I had no idea. I had no idea you were going to be there. And then I'm rewatching the show. I get back to my room and I rewatch the show. And they're showing Tyler Bate, and there you are, right behind him. Explain how this came about. Did you even know you were going to NXT TakeOver?
No, I didn't. I was at the wrestling show that you were at, and I kicked that chair into Dustin's head.
Yeah, you did.
I did. And then on Twitter, somebody took a video and they tagged me in it, sweet kick in the head. So I followed him and retweeted it, and I was like, thanks, whatever. Well, he comes up to my merch table and he's like, bro, just to let you know, I have an extra ticket for TakeOver if you want to go. Nice. I got some floor seats. And I'm like, why not? Dude's name was Mike, super nice guy. He was the one next to me in the video, pointing at me like this. So but yeah, so we went there. I was just there to enjoy the show. I've never been to a lot of NXT events, so it's been a long time since I've been to any WWE related event. Since I was like a kid.
Yeah.
So it was good. Great show, but I saw Tyler Bate come up and they popped the camera on him, and I'm like, well, come on here. So I popped up, did the thumbs up, did the bro. And then I said, I was going to whoop his ass because I'm wrestling him this weekend for OTT.
Yeah.
But I think the camera cut off as I was pointing down at him saying I was going to whoop his ass. So they didn't.
You go the extra mile to promote a match, Matt.
I really not even intentionally. Just things work out great. I think I was told I was trending on Twitter.
I believe it.
Takeover. So we got a little pop. My phone was popping for a minute for a hot sec.
What do you think that the WWE thought about that?
I don't think they. What do you think they thought about it? I don't think they cared. Maybe they did. Maybe they're like, you're a real piece of trash. But I'm like, I was just,
having fun.
I went with the friend. I was not trying to get on TV or anything, but then like they popped up, and I was like, hey, drinking a beer, hanging out,
You didn't do anything malicious.
definitely not, and had a great night. Enjoyed the show. First time I saw Nakamura in person, and I'll say this, if anybody at home is who hasn't seen Nakamura in person is doubting him,
got to do it.
The dude's got some charisma.
Oh yeah,
the dude is drenched. the dude is drenched in charisma, and like he could just like walk into the bathroom and you're like, whoa, like that guy's somebody.
One of the things I liked about the show, I wonder what those models that came out with Bobby Roode, I wonder what the fuck was going through their mind when they heard like 15,000 people singing Glorious.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, these chicks must think this dude is the most epic man in the world. There's like a couple they're like Texas beauty queens or something like that. And this guy just comes out, like literally that many people were yelling, Glorious.
It was fantastic.
It was. His gimmick, his thing he's got going on is really nice. It's a good time. It's a good time.
I thought Ciampa and Gargano were awesome on the show. Asuka, always fun to watch. That was really cool. Ty Dillinger was super over that night, and the next night at the Rumble, like so over, ridiculously over. So that was a fun show. Speaking of, I talked about your merch table earlier. Got a website now, Matthew. Kingofbros.com. They can get all your sweet merch there.
Kingofbros.com. You can check out my schedule for the upcoming month of February. I'll do it a month in advance for everybody. Also, you can check out all my new and latest merchandise gear and deals.
Oh, a few Altered Bro shirts at the Royal Rumble.
Yes. Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. Saw probably 3 or 4 of them.
I'm telling you, the Altered Bro, there was a Higher Matt Riddle sign. I heard there was a couple Higher Matt Riddle signs there. So we'll see. I feel like, people are giving me the push.
And to show people what kind of a bro that Matt Riddle is, he wore the Fightful shirt out to the ring for his match with Dustin. I truly appreciate that, Matt.
No problem, man. No problem. I do what I can. I'm a gentleman.
So you were also the talk of one Dave Meltzer this weekend.
Ooh.
He says, well, he was on this kick about how people outside of the Performance Center are improving at a higher rate than those inside of it. And you were brought up. And he said, I don't know if Matt Riddle would have gotten this good if he had been at the Performance Center as opposed to working where he is with who he is, doing what he's doing. And after going to Evolve, I can say maybe so, because, man, everybody from the top to the bottom, that was some show. And as we mentioned last week, a lot of the guys that you've worked with over the past year are signed.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel about that? Do you think that maybe it would have slowed your progression a little bit? Because it's a different kind of learning at the Performance Center. You're learning how to work on WWE TV.
Yeah, I think it's completely different, and I think for my style, what I'm doing is perfect. I think my style translates into WWE style as well very easily, But my style, and I think I'm in the perfect place for what I do, And I think I know what I have to do in the up and coming years and months and days to get where I want to get as quick as I want to get there. Is
that something that you're conscious of? Like your style, you keep it almost WWE friendly? Because if you were to go to WWE, you wouldn't have to water down anything.
Yeah, I would probably have to add a couple things. They'd probably want me to do a couple more slams to people or a couple more like jumps or something,
Probably not doing a tombstone there.
I could probably, well, it wouldn't be a tombstone. It would be like a tilt-a-whirl pancake,
Yeah.
I could always modify everything, but
sure.
Yeah, I think I'd have to change it. I'd have to change a couple things, you know, but maybe not. I don't know.
Also brought up, Dave Meltzer talked about like why in the hell WWE wouldn't have signed you by now, and he said something that was interesting. He said, "I would be shocked if by the end of the year New Japan didn't make an offer, and if they did, that would force WWE's hand." Anything to say about that?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
I don't know. I really like New Japan. I really like. I like the culture in Japan, the way they watch wrestling and perceive it. Not that I don't like the WWE or the WWE style or anything like that, you know. But I think, you know, I don't know. For my style, I feel like the Japanese really appreciate, you know, the shoot style of pro wrestling. Kind of like I go over to Europe a lot because the Europeans really appreciate that strong style, shoot style European wrestling, and even that chain wrestling style, you know, jiu-jitsu mixed in. You know, almost like chain grappling.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're in for a very interesting year, Matt.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good, bro. It's going to be a good year.
So tell me, what's that outlook like? Like in your mind, knowing that people are going to be after you.
You never know. Like maybe I stop getting better right now and I'm just trash.
I think if you stopped getting better right now, I don't think you'd qualify as trash. You're pretty fun to watch wrestle.
Still. I still got a lot further to go. But I think in a couple of years it's going to be like right now it's kind of hard to not see me, but I think in a couple of years it's going to be like you're going to have to be like completely blind and deaf not to see or hear. So, you know, that's my goal, you know, just to get as good as possible and just wow people and make people, you know, just, you know, I don't know.
So how was your Sunday? I know you did what, Beyond?
Yeah, I wrestled Brian Cage on Sunday, and it was like a 10 to 12. It was, I think, 12 minutes. Pretty hard hitting, but a lot of slams, power bombs, bro stones, bro to sleeps.
Did you do a bro stone to Cage?
I did.
Jesus.
Dude, I did a shoot German suplex to Brian Cage. A shoot German. He tried to stop me.
So how'd that end up?
Dude, he was selling T-shirts of the Army of Darkness.
Really?
Army of Darkness. You know how we did it? And then he's selling T-shirts with his face on the Army of Darkness. He did good. I saw people wearing them. I'm about to do it with my face and do the one that we had. I'm about to give that to my T-shirt guy.
I thought that he ripped us off, but apparently he's been selling those for years, according to what he told me.
What? No way.
He says that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right?
I don't know. I could have sworn I said something. He, like, laughed. But then again, you know, it was a long weekend.
Yes.
I was wrestling a lot. You know, Hardcore City, ACH City, and then Brian Cage City. So,
how did you feel after that Dustin match? Any soreness? Any?
You know, I'll be honest. My whole body feels great. The only time I ever hurt or ding anything, it's like my lower hips, and it's not like my hips. It's like the bone in my like my hip bone in the back. You know, and it's not like a serious hurt. It's like just like a bone bruise. I feel because I got like bony hips.
Do you happen to bump on that area a lot or something?
No, just periodically I hit it occasionally. Usually I land across I land pretty flat, but like when you do a senton on chairs, you know,
sure.
Sometimes your hip bone.
I do that all the time. No big deal.
Yeah, but honestly, it doesn't doesn't hurt. Like I can still roll and I'm gonna do jiu-jitsu later and wrestle and stuff. But it's
all this shit barefoot too. I don't know how you
barefoot. Oh, dude, it's easy. It's just good technique. You use good technique, you should be like, I would say that to any wrestler. It's like if you have good technique, you can wrestle barefoot. Like if you take every bump perfect, you can wrestle barefoot.
Well, I'd say you're probably. I mean that's the way you trained MMA, I would imagine. Except unless you wore some wrestling shoes for some reason.
No. Well, I wore wrestling shoes when I wrestled in high school and college, but after college, yeah, it was barefoot. It was barefoot since I was like 20 years old.
Interesting. I remember me and Shane Helms talked off camera. I asked him what he thought of you. He's like, I don't know how he wrestles without shoes on.
Oh man, it's I'll say this: the hardest thing about wrestling barefoot is on being on the ropes. Like when you like do superplexes and stuff like that. Like I could never do like a stalling suplex on the rope, you know.
But like sweaty to make it slip. Like what is it?
It's just painful. You know, it's like climbing a cage. It's like imagine doing a cage match barefoot, climbing up a cage. Like that's just painful. You know what I'm saying? It's like same thing with the rope. It's just like all your weight in like the ball of your foot or wherever. Oh, if you have a shoe on, you don't feel it at all. You got like a rubber sole.
Interesting.
But not that big of a deal. You know, you can still do a fisherman buster off the top rope through chairs.
That was a sweet spot. That was a pretty freaking sweet spot. Did you watch the Rumble?
I did not. I watched some of it. I was driving home and we had it on the dashboard. And we were watching it while we were driving. I wasn't driving, but our, David Starr was driving. And
we just had an interview with him up on Fightful.com.
Oh, David Starr. He's a fantastic man. Wrestling him not this weekend, but next weekend at CZW for the Shotgun title and the Atlas title.
Oh.
Progress.
It's a double title match?
Progress title versus the WXW title from Germany.
So are both on the line?
Yeah, double title.
Oh, we're going to need you to get some more titles.
I did. I told you this is the year of the bro. I'm just going to stack up these belts.
Year of the bro. Nice.
It's the bro era.
So what'd you think of the Rumble from what you saw?
I thought it was really good. Well, actually, I'll be honest. I didn't see much of it. I saw the beginning. I saw the big cast Enzo promo.
That took like an hour?
Yeah. I'll be honest. I kind of faded pretty quick after that. I was tired. I had a long weekend, So I'll be honest. And then I saw Randy Orton won.
Yeah, it was kind of cool how they crafted it, though. They knew that it was going to get booed if he won. So what they did was make Roman Reigns come out at number 30. So everybody thought that he was going to win. Then Randy Orton eliminated him and got a big pop. So it was kind of clever. Interesting how they did it.
That's good. That's good stuff. Well, they told that story pretty good.
They did. You've only had like what, one battle royal, you said?
I don't think I've even been in a battle royal.
It seems like it'd be a waste, personally. Like, hey, we're booking Matt Riddle. He's going to be in a battle royal.
I mean, you could put me in a battle royal, but it's really not my num de plume. I mean, I could do some moves. I'm not going to do the Kofi Kingston, but did Kofi do anything?
Yeah, he was. Okay, so you know how they have their turnbuckle posts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they are LED turnbuckle posts. They're really wide.
I do know. Now
he was on the top rope. He got caught on the top rope by Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin walks towards him, and Kofi moves to the post where Baron Corbin can't really reach him. Baron Corbin swats at him, and Kofi goes flat and lands on his chest on top of the turnbuckle post and hangs on to it, and then pulls himself back in. Not a particularly exhilarating spot, but it wasn't bad. They're running out of shit to do.
Damn, Kofi.
What would you do?
Damn, Kofi, your time's up.
I thought it would have made sense for him to not do one, and they could play it up because the New Day's big tag team title streak just ended. They could have played it up. They could have ended the damn streak. That way they don't have to do that every year. They could have said that New Day is on like a losing skid or something.
Mm-hmm.
That way you ain't got to work that in every year.
He had to get something in, so I get it. Sure. But he's got to figure it out for next year. I was hoping he had a wagon car or maybe Big E was dressed as a unicorn or something, and he like jumped on his back and rode him onto the other side of the ring.
That's a great idea.
He can take all these ideas; they're his. He can do this, you know.
Sin Cara used to be Hunico in WWE, and he would ride a bicycle out to the ring. And I always wanted Kofi to land on the bike and drive around the ring doing bunny hops and shit.
Well, that's just risky, bunny hops.
Bunny hops. You can't ride the bike without doing the sweet jumps, Matt.
Bunny hops with ring stairs, a battle royal, thousands of people, and guardrails.
Even better, Big E could have came with like a piece of plywood and set it diagonal across those stairs, and Kofi could have jumped back into the ring. He could have went all the way up the ramp and then jumped back into the ring.
That's pretty impressive without falling once. Well, I guess he could touch one foot, right?
Sure. Because those rules are so weird.
1 foot. Well, Michaels did the 1 foot. I'm pretty sure his feet were never supposed to touch, but they had to change that.
Kofi did the hands on the floor one time and walked. So he can do like a handstand and walk his body out that way. Like, it's possible.
Anything's possible, bro.
What you got planned this weekend?
This weekend, big weekend in Dublin, in Belfast. For OTT wrestling.
Give me the itinerary. I want to know like what days, what times. Well,
I'm wrestling
you might not
Saturday.
know what times.
I don't know exact bell times, like 7 p.m. their time probably.
Yeah.
But I'm wrestling Saturday, Sunday, and I'm wrestling Pete Dunne, and I'm wrestling Tyler Bate. That's why I was calling him out, son. So
that's a hell of a weekend there, Matt.
Always is. Matt Riddle always has a hell of a weekend.
Like
you see this weekend, Sean, you just got a taste, bro.
It's true.
You just got your beak wet. And you saw a hardcore match. You didn't even see that. You didn't even see that exclusive Matt Riddle style. That was more of a hybrid Dustin Riddle style. Because we did the hardcore gimmicks.
Well,
just wait, bro. Just wait.
Hopefully,
KingofBros.com.
Hopefully, I'm at Mania. The boss is trying to score a box or something. I don't know if he'll do it. I don't think he'll get it. Sorry, James.
Why are you trying to score a box? It's like
it's up to him. I don't know, but hopefully by then I'm not as weak and frail as you saw me this weekend. Little under the weather because of the San Antonio stuff. I wasn't very happy.
I think it's more your travels. You know what else, Sean? You were supposed to buy me some beers down in San Antonio.
Well, let me tell you about that. Let me tell you exactly what happened because I would have.
That venue didn't serve alcohol?
No.
Oh.
So I get in pretty late. I sent you a text and I was like, is Evolve going on? Did the ring break? And you go, yes, several times. And by the time I got to the hotel room, I had been on a plane for like 12 hours on a trip that was supposed to take about 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah. I remember you whining about that.
Well, here's what happened. Shitter broke on the plane. So they sent me to Birmingham, Alabama instead of Houston, Texas. Wasn't happy about that. That sucked. Birmingham.
Just because the one bathroom didn't work, there wasn't other bathrooms or no bathrooms worked?
No bathrooms on there was only one bathroom on the plane. It was a small plane. So they couldn't fly us 2 hours to Houston. It's against FAA regulations. They can only fly us like 90 minutes. So they took us to Birmingham, then put us on a different plane to Houston. So a trip that should have taken 2 hours took, all in all, I think 4.5, 5 hours. That sucked. Missed my connecting flight. By the time I got there, I was exhausted. So Saturday night, after NXT, I was going to text you. I was going to be like, hey, Matt, what's up? I'll get you a beer. I am out at Dirty Nelly's Pub. I'm there with Justin LaBar of WrestleZone. I see Damian Nelson of Pro Wrestling Report. WWE blogger diva. Some of you all know her on Twitter.
So you guys were just all in this one spot?
Yeah, we were all in this one spot, and one of them had talked me into taking an Uber, even though I had a rental car. My phone isn't with me when I get to the bar. And I'm like, fuck, I just pulled a Matt Riddle. I've left my phone somewhere. I wasn't happy about it. I
So you
apologize,
lost your
Matt.
phone?
Oh, no, it was in my hotel room, thankfully.
Oh.
But I had no way of like calling an Uber or a cab to get the fuck out of there.
Somebody call you an Uber?
No, I just waited it out. I just toughed it out. I can be without my phone for a couple hours, I guess. Site didn't melt down. So
yeah, I went to Dave and Buster's after NXT. Got some drinks.
Did you watch some Bellator? That's what they do at Dave and
Do
Buster's,
you know
right?
who I saw at Dave and Buster's?
Who?
James Ellsworth.
You didn't.
I fucking did. And guess
He
what?
would be at a Dave and Buster's.
And guess what he did?
What?
He came up to me and goes, Matt Riddle? And I go, yes. He goes, I'm a big fan of your work.
No.
He did. He did. He complimented my work.
You better not have big time to James Ellsworth. You better not have big timed him.
And then I told him to get the fuck out of my face before I slapped his no chin having ass out of there. No, I didn't say that. No, I was like, what's up, bro? How you doing? Big fan of your work, too. And then I bought him a drink. But I thought he would have bought me a drink, you know, because he had that WWE money and I have that indie money.
Did he have Carmella with him?
Carmella? No, I think that's
his TV girlfriend. Yeah, not real.
I think that's just part of the show.
Yeah, he's married. He's married.
Oh, that's why. That's definitely why that's not happening.
So what'd y'all do? Did y'all play like skee ball or something?
Because he's married. That's why it's not happening. No.
Just to say, we will edit that out. But I think your daughter was upset. She busted in like, Daddy, James Ellsworth and Carmella aren't really boyfriend and girlfriend.
I don't think that was it. I think the kids wanted to play GTA. So, you know, they were
Hey.
Yeah, well, right now they're playing Rayman, which is a pretty good kids-friendly game. Okay, Allison, you gotta stop it. You gotta stop.
Fantastic. It's okay. We're at the end anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap this up, you guys. kingofbros.com. Go get your Matt Riddle merchandise. Fightful.com. Go get all your wrestling, MMA, boxing news. Follow at Fightful Wrestle, at Fightful MMA, at Fightful Online. Through this weekend, you can get those Fightful tees for $15.99. After that, we're jacking up the prices because we are capitalists. Matt, anything to tell the people before we go?
Just catch me on OTT. I bet they have a streaming service. I'll be wrestling in Ireland this weekend. Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, plus many more. Always catch me on the Fightful podcast, right? And Riddle Top 7, Twitter, Riddle Bro, Instagram. Hit me up.
Guys, we are out.